Coming up on Beach TV News, here we go again. Hurricane Milton is set to make landfall along the Florida coast. See how residents are preparing for another hit after Hurricane Helene's devastating blow. Plus, university campuses across the nation hold vigils commemorating the one-year anniversary of the Israel-Hamas war. A reporter is live from one of the vigils. And it's a family affair. How LeBron James and his son Bronny are making history together. All this and more next.
Beach TV News starts now. Welcome to this edition of Beach TV News. I'm Emily Diaz.
And I'm Carlos Raya. Beach TV News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Long Beach.
We begin tonight with breaking news in Florida coast. Hurricane Milton has expected to make landfall as a Category 5 hurricane with maximum winds of 160 miles per hour. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency, urging the evacuations of 51 counties, with President Joe Biden emphasizing it's a matter of life and death. It's become one of the largest hurricane evacuations in Florida's history since Irma back in 2017. The storm is set to double in intensity before landfall, with its center close to Tampa Bay. Florida is still recovering and cleaning up from Hurricane Helene, a Category 3 storm that slammed the coast just 2 weeks ago.
Communities across Florida are being urged to get out now. Florida officials say this will be the largest evacuation in decades. Leo Waldman has the latest.
It seems like another week, another hurricane.
Floridians are bracing for yet another hurricane as Milton churns in the Gulf. It's expected to intensify into a Category 3 hurricane by late Monday. The storm is projected to make landfall near the Tampa area on Wednesday with 120-mile-per-hour winds. Officials are warning about the threat of storm surge, rain, and flash flooding.
I'd urge Floridians to take this storm very seriously. If you're on the west coast of the Florida Peninsula, you could potentially have major impacts from this storm.
A state of emergency has been declared in 51 of the 67 counties in Florida. Officials are urging residents to make safety plans now and not wait.
It's going to have wind, it can kill you. It's going to have water, it can kill you. So I hope everybody right now starts thinking about what in the living daylights are you going to do?
You cannot wait and see.
Milton is expected to impact areas still cleaning up from Hurricane Helene, which slammed into Florida's Big Bend region as a major Category 4 hurricane. The storm created a 500-mile path of destruction across a number of states. Some in the storm's path are still without power and cleaning up damage. Florida's governor is deploying the National Guard to help assist with debris removal that could cause more damage from forecasted winds. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Thanks, Lee. Dozens of firefighters and ground support personnel have been deployed to assist with emergency operations before Hurricane Milton makes landfall. 144 firefighters from 3 California Urban Search and Rescue Task Force teams will travel to assist with incident management, emergency operations, and search and rescue efforts. The teams are highly specialized in structural collapse and swift water flood environments.
With this water component is to be able to perform rescues in water, obviously, that is anticipated with a storm, but also you have a lot of structure collapse.
We wish them a safe trip and thank them for their service. Now, over to Israel. Mourners are gathering on the one-year anniversary at the site of the Hamas deadly attack on an outdoor music festival in Israel. Families gathered more than 1,200 lives that were taken that day, and to call for the release of missing hostages. 97 people are still missing and presumed to be held hostage by Hamas. 33 of them are believed to be dead. A year after the attack on the Nova rave, violence continues to escalate between Israel and Gaza, and thousands of innocent lives continue to be claimed.
Protests and rallies have rocked college campuses across the U.S. since the Israel-Hamas war began. But today, memorials are being set up to honor the victims. Reporting live, Liz Hanna has a vigil right here at Cal State Long Beach. Liz, can you tell us about more what's happening?
College students across the nation gathered to remember the tens of thousands killed since the start of the Israeli-Hamas war 1 year ago. As you can see behind me, a memorial is setting up on campus now. October 7th marks the one-year anniversary of the deadly attack on Israeli citizens, the act catapulting the country into a war against Hamas, killing at least 40,000 in Gaza and displacing almost 2 million others. Waves of pro-Israel, pro-Palestinian, and anti-war protests have gripped U.S. colleges in the wake of the devastation in the Middle East. In Maryland, a student spoke on behalf of his cousin, held hostage and killed by Hamas.
No matter the circumstances, is just to get a point across and teach people. And it's important for everyone to see everything and learn about everything, understand every situation.
Students are speaking up for both sides of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Palestine's flag was displayed at today's vigil, coordinated by student groups La Fuerza and Students for Justice in Palestine, held on the California State University Long Beach campus. This memorial honoring the victims of the civilian attacks in Gaza. The mood somber as students quietly reflected on the many lives lost this past year. Students remain concerned as the Israeli-Hamas war continues to escalate without a resolution in sight. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Liz. Now over to Las Vegas, where smoke and flames made for a very rough landing. Imagine being a passenger on that Frontier Airlines flight. Take a look at these images. Ground footage shows a burst of flames coming from the aircraft and a trail of billowing smoke lining the runway. The incident occurred just as the plane was descending into Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas. Pilots on Flight 1326 detected smoke and declared an emergency landing. Nearly 200 passengers were on board the flight. The fire, coming from the right engine, was extinguished shortly after landing. No injuries to passengers or crew were reported. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
Wow, talk about a close call. We're happy to hear no one on board was injured. Now, for the latest in health news, we toss it over to our BTVN reporter, Carla Valdez. Carla?
Thank you, Emily. A recent study shows that many adults are iron deficient, and with the fall season in sight, allergies may be worsening for everyone. And a nonprofit in Oregon is using art as a creative haven for those struggling with mental health.
A recent study reveals that 1 in 3 U.S. adults may be iron deficient. According to JMA Network Open, this study examines the iron levels of about 8,000 adults, including individuals who typically wouldn't be screened for iron deficiency, like those without heart failure, chronic kidney disease, or anemia. Symptoms can include fatigue, shortness of breath, and heart palpitations. If experiencing any of these, individuals should consult their healthcare provider for testing. While most people meet their iron needs through a balanced diet, according to Dr. Katie E. Golden, a medicine physician, iron supplements can eliminate the risk. Fall is here, but allergy season isn't over yet. In fact, climate change is causing allergy season to start earlier and last longer. Common symptoms include a stuffy nose, sneezing, coughing, watering eyes, and a scratchy throat. Ragweed being a major allergen at this time of year. Dr. Lena Wen, an emergency physician, states that ragweed releases up to 1 billion grains of pollen. To reduce exposure, people should avoid outdoor activities when pollen counts are high, change clothes after being outside, and use nasal sprays or over-the-counter medications if symptoms worsen. Now, on a positive note, Hearts Unknown Education is a nonprofit in Bend, Oregon that provides crucial support to at-risk youth facing mental health challenges. Founded by Nico Carpinelli, the organization offers activities like painting, graffiti, and music, helping those individuals express themselves and navigate their struggles. Carpinelli states that he has witnessed firsthand how art can transform lives. Now, they plan to expand by adding a coffee and tea house, offering both a social space and job training opportunities for those in the program.
Art really is a creative outlet that can allow everyone to express themselves in a unique way. And remember to get your iron checked and stock up on your supplements to help fight this season's allergies. Back to you guys at the news desk.
The Long Beach Senior Center is known for bringing their community together during the day, but what happens after dark is a much different story. Tonight, Tanisha Bukat investigates troubling incidents happening in this once safe space.
By day, the Long Beach Senior Center is a picture of community, with seniors playing games, chatting with friends, and enjoying the activities that bring them together. It's a bright spot for so many, filled with laughter and warmth. But when the sun sets, a different story unfolds. The same parking lot that serves those seniors during the day becomes a hot spot for illegal activities at night.
What you see behind me is the parking lot of the Long Beach Senior Center, a place meant for safety and connection. But lately, it's anything but that. Now come right here. What you see behind me, this very spot right here, just a few steps away from where our seniors gather, has become a hub for drugs and prostitution at night.
Despite the efforts of the authorities, the drug activities and homelessness continues. People were seen openly smoking crystal meth, and some were doing drug deals from 10 p.m. onwards. Maria Sevilla, who's been cleaning the senior center for 10 years, says she's seen these activities herself when she comes into work at 4 a.m. I work at 4 in the morning here, me and my good friend. And every day it's always dangerous because there's a lot of homeless and people doing drugs and drinking. We also see people having sex upstairs. This issue is becoming a bigger problem for the center, and Linda Davis, a member since 2023, says some seniors are even being approached directly.
They say they had gotten their purse snatched, they got pushed down, and their bag snatched. So that's mostly it's about them trying to find some money so they can get high.
Public spaces across California, from MacArthur Park in LA to small towns like Hellsburg, are facing similar challenges. What was once a family destination is now overrun by drug users. With daylight savings time approaching, seniors at the Long Beach Senior Center feel more unsafe than ever. Residents are urging local leaders to act and restore the center to its former safe haven. Reporting from Long Beach, I'm Tanisha Bugad, Beach TV News.
It's time for a quick break, but when we return,
how the Queen of Country Music, Dolly Parton, and other country stars are pitching in to help the victims of Hurricane Helene. Also, get ready, beach fans! Basketball is back in action with new faces at the Walter Pyramid. Find out what's in store for Coach Acker and his team this upcoming season. Those stories up next.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. He asked all his therapists to help him undertake some of the house chores. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
Welcome back. As Israel continues their bombing campaign in Lebanon while pursuing Hezbollah targets, innocent civilians remain under high alert as conflict shows no sign of de-escalation. Here with those details and more is BTVN's Nate Marshall. Nate?
Thanks, Emily. Lebanon is under attack as Israel intensifies bombing campaign on Hezbollah targets, and the Dominican Republic begins to deport thousands of Haitians amid growing tensions. Here's what's happening around the world.
Israel has ramped up its airstrikes on Lebanon as tensions with Hezbollah reach new heights. Heavy bombing has been reported in Beirut and other strategic areas, with targets allegedly linked to the militant group Hezbollah. This escalation comes amidst increasing conflict between Israel and Lebanon, which has worsened following cross-border clashes. Casualties continue to rise, with dozens of civilians caught in the crossfire, losing their homes as a result. The displacement and injury of so many civilians has caused the United Nations to urge both sides to show restraint. But peace seems unlikely as Israel vows to continue its military campaign until Hezbollah is neutralized. History is made in Mexico as Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo becomes the country's first Jewish woman to be elected president. Sheinbaum, a former mayor of Mexico City, represents a significant milestone not just for gender equality, but also for the Jewish community in Mexico. Her election campaign focused on social justice, economic reforms, and environmental policies. As tensions rise, the Dominican Republic has launched a massive deportation campaign, expelling thousands of Haitians from the country. Authorities cite security concerns and illegal immigration as the main reasons for the crackdown. Human rights organizations have condemned the actions, claiming that the deportations are targeting vulnerable Haitian workers and families who have lived in the Dominican Republic for years. This expulsion has deepened the strained relationship between the two nations that share the island of Hispaniola, with many calling for diplomatic solutions to address the root causes of migration and social unrest.
With thousands of Haitians being deported from the Dominican Republic, this is surely to impact migration to the U.S. for months to come. And that is an insight to what is currently happening around the world. Back to you, Carlos.
Thanks, Nate. After waiting more than 100 days for basketball to return, LeBron James is making his way back, but he's bringing someone along for the ride. His son, Bronny James Jr. LeBron and Bronny write NBA history as the first father and son duo to play together in the NBA. They played their first game together for the Los Angeles Lakers in a preseason match against the Phoenix Suns on Bronny's 20th birthday. Despite Bronny unable to convert any points in the loss against the Suns, it was definitely special to see the James family make their court debut ahead of their season opener on October 22nd. Super cool. Congrats to them both. As we enter the best time of the year for athletics, our BTVN reporter, Jerry Reynoso, has the latest on what's going on in the world of sports. Jerry?
Thanks, Carlos. From the start of October baseball to the peak of the NFL and college football season, this past weekend provided both the beauty and the misery in the world of sports. Game 2 of the NLDS between the Dodgers and the Padres was a pivotal one in the best-of-5-game series, and thanks to Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego got off to a hot start as Tatis goes yard in the top of the first inning. Offense wasn't enough as Yu Darvish and the Padres defense held the Dodgers MV3 in Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman 0 for 12. But you look at that snag by Tatis Jr. But wait, there is more as Tatis Jr. strikes again with the second of 6 home runs scored by the Padres. Dodger fans are going to want to forget this one as the Padres take down LA 10-2. Both teams will head over to San Diego for Game 3 on Tuesday with the series tied at 1 apiece. Moving on to the NFL as the LA Rams welcome the Green Bay Packers to SoFi, and Packers quarterback Jordan Love is met with some big trouble as he throws it away early for a pick 6. The Packers defense will redeem Love as they start the third quarter by stripping Rams running back Kyren Williams. Next drive, 2nd and 6, play action from Love, and he connects deep with tight end Tucker Kraft for a 66-yard touchdown, giving LA a 24-19 loss to Green Bay. The Rams will enter their bye week with back-to-back losses and a 1-4 record. The number 11 ranked Trojans traveled to Minnesota to take on the Golden Gophers in a college football weekend filled with surprises. A back-and-forth matchup proved Minnesota a true test for USC quarterback Miller Moss. Moss, with a quarterback's dream to win the game in the fourth quarter, becomes a nightmare as Minnesota gets an interception to secure the upset. USC wasn't the only ranked team to fall to an unranked side as Alabama, Michigan, and Tennessee also became victims in the 6th week of the season. LA experienced some tough losses this weekend, but nobody had it tougher going forward than the Dodgers as they traveled to a hostile San Diego environment and attempt to win a postseason road game, something the Dodgers have not done since 2021. Now, last season, Long Beach State fans were spoiled with the success of the men's basketball team. Now hoping to capture back-to-back Big West championships, the Beach prepare for the upcoming season with a fresh new look. Our BTVN reporter Enrique Rodriguez has the latest from the Walter Pyramid.
Basketball season is back here at the Beach. The men's basketball team behind me is getting ready for practice and preparing for this upcoming season beginning next month. After winning the Big West title and making the NCAA tournament last season, Long Beach State men's basketball team is looking to do it again this season. But the program will have plenty of different players and coaches. This past April, the Beach introduced Coach Chris Acker as the team's newest head coach.
I'm excited. Our guys have put in a lot of work. They're working extremely hard. So I'm excited to see where we're at to get started.
Coach Acker is expecting a lot from his squad this season.
The urge you have to just have a chance to win a college basketball game. And so they'll feel it when they get out there in games, but we're a group that hasn't been together. We haven't played in any games together yet. So my expectations are through the roof. So we got to get to the point where their expectations are the same.
There are plenty of newcomers that are ready to give the Beach everything they got. Like redshirt freshman Ramel Lloyd Jr., he never had any playing time during his time in Nebraska, but he returns home to Long Beach and is ready to play for his hometown team.
You know, my pops played here, I got lineage here, so just being back home and being able to represent Long Beach is a big time for me. From the jump, I felt a connection with Coach Ack, and I felt like it would be a good place for me to transfer to and restart my career and kind of just get back to where I wanted to be, so yeah.
And senior guard Devin Askew, he was at Cal, Texas, and Kentucky before transferring to Long Beach. He is looking forward to playing for the program this season.
You learn as you go on, as you get older, and as you go through the process. So I'm just excited to keep learning, super grateful, and super excited.
Long Beach State will continue to prepare for the regular season as their first game is at home against Laverne on November 4th. Reporting from Long Beach, I'm Enrique Rodriguez with Beach TV News.
Nothing but the best of luck for Coach Chris Acker and the men's basketball squad. Hoping for another great season from them. Now over to you at the news desk.
Thanks, guys. Well, cheering filled the streets of Long Beach as the 40th annual Long Beach Marathon kicked off last week. BTVN reporter Lindsay Towles has that story.
Runners were greeted with cheers and cool weather as the 40th annual Long Beach Marathon kicked off early Sunday morning. Concerns of hot temperatures caused the race to be moved up, but the forecast provided thick fog that kept runners cool.
The weather's better for all of them. The weather's been really good. It's not too bright and sunny. It's cool, great for the runners. A lot of good enthusiasm along the way, so that's great. Long Beach is beautiful, right here on the water, and it's been a good experience.
Doug Mason was among the hundreds who showed up to support the runners, cheering on his daughter in her third marathon.
My daughter Claire is 23 years old, and she's going to graduate school at UC San Diego. And it was a super early start this morning. I think she was up at 3:30 this morning to get ready for the race. And we've tried to meet them at different stops along the way just to check in, and they're doing pretty well so far.
Many lined the streets with signs, handing out encouragement and the fuel to keep going. Heidi Faulkner traveled with her family from LA to cheer on her daughter Max and her boyfriend Jackson in their first marathon.
So proud of both of them. They've trained really hard. They've been really committed. They've been training for like 4 months. So to see them here and see all the enthusiasm of everybody pushing themselves and just having a great time has been amazing. They've got to keep going, and that the only people they have to prove anything is to themselves, and they've already won.
While some came to see their loved ones run, other neighbors came out to provide vocal support.
I come out because these people need to have people root them on. Yeah, no, I have no one that's in the race. I know people that have done the bike tour, but I come out and I just root people on. I could be sitting in the house watching TV, or I can root people on and get them the last 6 miles.
The marathon ended with repeat champions LA local Jason Yang and CSULB alum Riley Fick taking first place. In Long Beach, Lindsay Tolles, Beach TV News.
Time for another break, but up next.
The Joker 2 bombs at the box office, why fans are not feeling the sequel of the 2019 smash hit. And it's Halloween season, which can only mean one thing: candy, costumes, and haunted houses. Those spooky images up next.
don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back. Now for the latest in entertainment news, with a recap of Joker 2 box office failure, a new Charlie XCX album, and the way several country stars are coming together to raise money for Hurricane Helene relief. Our reporter Morgan Barella has the details.
Thanks, Emily. From benefit concerts to box office bombs, here's what's happening in the entertainment world.
Dolly Parton has announced she will be donating $1 million for Hurricane Helene relief. The donation will go to the Mountain Ways Foundation, a nonprofit that provides emergency assistance to victims of the flood.
I wanted to announce that from myself personally, just from my own bank account, I'm donating $1 million today.
Parton's effort is not the only donation being made. Luke Combs, Eric Church, and more country music stars announced they will be hosting a benefit concert for Hurricane Helene. Concert for Carolina will take place on October 26th at Bank of America Stadium, with all proceeds going towards relief efforts in Carolina. Joker 2 achieved a #1 spot in the box office, but that doesn't mean it was much of a success. The sequel, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga, made only $40 million in its opening weekend against a $200 million budget. The film received negative reviews from critics and viewers alike, earning a striking 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Brat Summer may be over, but Charlie XCX is keeping things exciting with the release of an official Brat remix album, titled Brat, and it's completely different, but also still Brat. The remix album features collaborations with 18 artists, including Ariana Grande, Tinashe, Julian Casablancas, and the 1975. The album was announced through billboards featuring the collaborative artist names in the notable Brat font and colors in cities around the world.
My personal favorite off the Brat remix album is Sympathy is a Knife featuring Ariana Grande. That's all for entertainment. Back to you guys.
A scream is the sound of a job well done for this family in Hawaiian Gardens.
That's right, reporter Lindsay Towles visited a local home haunt ahead of Halloween season.
Scaring is a family business in this Hawaiian Gardens household.
I think almost everywhere we lived all my life, because of my parents, we've put up Halloween decorations, Christmas decorations. My parents have always loved Halloween, so they would always make me wear elaborate costumes.
Marlene Hurtado, along with her parents and son Tenzin, are the faces behind Clowns vs. Skeletons, a home haunt in SoCal that's been operating for 15 years.
We started off with just a yard display. And then as the years went on, we made a mini walkthrough, and that's where we're at now.
It's one of those things where you grow up around it, so you get used to it. I've always and only known Halloween. It's my life. Always have helped any way I can, even when I was little, just doing smaller things, to now doing a lot of the manual labor, heavy lifting,
It's a family effort, with Marlene's dad James making many of the props by hand.
By ideas my daughter comes out with, and then I go from there and then find something, and we have an idea how to make it, but it always comes out different. But it comes out good anyways, like the spiders you seen out there. Yeah, the skeleton, the big skeleton. There's no other skeleton like that one. We put the fire in it and put the fire in the head.
We have the big skeletons, the 12-foot skeletons. We have a 15-foot phantom. We have a lot of homemade stuff, which is really neat. We have a lot of spider clowns that we've meshed together.
The Home Haunt opens up for the month of October with a grand finale on Halloween night.
Every Halloween we give away stuff. Like last Halloween we gave away hot dogs and popcorn. So that's kind of my favorite. My favorite day is Halloween because I get to give back to the community, and we'll post it and tell the people what we're going to give. Like this year we're going to do like an ice cream bar. So we'll give ice cream, and then the kids can put their toppings and whatnot.
While a love for Halloween has been passed on through the household, it's the spirit of giving back to the community that defines the season.
She always taught me, to always try to give back to the community. It's for other people. It's really not, we're not doing it for us, but still that's the main goal, is to have other people have fun, to give back.
In Hawaiian Gardens, Lindsay Tolles, Beach TV News.
That looks like so much fun. Are you a fan of Spooky Home?
I am. We definitely have to check that out.
And on that note, we end this edition of Beach TV News. I'm Emily Diaz.
And I'm Carlos Raya. Remember to stay connected and be a part of the conversation. Head on over to our social apps at Beach TV News and let us know what you think of tonight's stories.
From all of us at Beach TV News, good night, Long Beach.